Chinnaswami, Bhagavan's brother, sought Nambiar's assistance in managing the ashram. Nambiar went to Bhagavan. Bhagavan gave his approval. From then on, Nambiar lent a hand in the official matters of the ashram. He was able to pursue the path of self-inquiry and at the same time involve himself in mundane matters. He started his career from the bottom of the rung and reached a very high level. He dealt with colleagues, superiors and subordinates, politicians, government officials, and all this must have involved a lot of energy, effort, and even conflict. Yet, he is an outstanding example of an individual totally involved in self-inquiry while at the same time leading an active external life. For him, as Bhagavan told Paul Brunton, there is no contradiction between the work and wisdom. Nambiar relied on Bhagavan every second. He used to tell his friends, "Bhagavan is looking after me." During the war, he was stationed in Chennai along with his family. He was a government officer. But even for him, it used to be very difficult to return to Chennai from his travels because the trains would always be full since the military was on the move. People could not reserve tickets. One of Nambiar's friends challenged him one day by asking, "How are you going to return to Chennai? The entire train is full." Nambiar replied with full conviction, "My Bhagavan will look after me." His friend mocked him, saying, "Including your children, there are 5 of you. If there was only one person, we could push that person into a compartment." Nambiar, however, continued saying, "My Bhagavan will look after me. Do not worry." Nambiar traveled up to Villapuram and waited for the express train. When it arrived, it seemed to be totally packed. His friend who had come to help them board the train commented, "I told you so." However, Nambiar staunchly said, "You have no idea about Bhagavan." Saying this, he walked right up to the engine. Next to the engine was a new and locked first-class coach. Since he was a government officer, he approached the station manager, the master of the station, and requested him to open the coach. The family occupied the entire compartment. Whenever he shared this incident with me, his face would beam and his eyes would be moist. He would say, "Have complete faith in Bhagavan, even when it comes to mundane things like getting accommodation on a train. Ganesan, it is not a miracle. It is pure faith and compassion." Nambiar went on an official tour to both England and America. And in all these travels, he was guided by Bhagavan and met devotees of Bhagavan. The incidents are very interesting, and he has captured those reminiscences in his book, The Guiding Presence of Sri Bhagavan. When returning from America, he brought with him a movie camera, something that was a marvel for people in India in the 1940s. It was not only a marvel, but a big boon because it enabled him to shoot films of Bhagavan. That is why we have them now. Besides, he also brought back a Charlie Chaplin film and showed it to Bhagavan. I was sitting next to Bhagavan, who, as he watched it, laughed heartily. He enjoyed it so much that I too became a Charlie Chaplin fan. Nambiar played an active part in the construction of the Mother's Temple. A temple is normally constructed with the help of a traditional Indian engineer. Vajanatha Shapathy was entrusted with the construction, but Nambiar was also called. He went to Bhagavan and stated, "Chinnaswami wants me to assist in the construction of the temple. I do not know anything about it." Bhagavan replied, "Doesn't matter. Help him." When the temple was constructed and the celebrations were over, a photographer was called and a photo was taken of both. On seeing the photo, Bhagavan made the comment, "The traditional engineer and Nambiar are together." In April 1950, when Bhagavan's condition was deteriorating, there was a controversy on where Bhagavan's body should be interred. Though Bhagavan had expressed no opinion, it was almost like he had made up his mind about the spot, because on the very night that Bhagavan dropped his body, Nambiar had a vivid dream. He dreamt that Bhagavan had a closed-door meeting with my grandfather, Nirajananda Swami, Chinnaswami, and my father, Venkatu. However, the door was ajar. Nambiar, who was standing outside, could hear Bhagavan calling out. He said, "Call Nambiar in." Bhagavan then made a drawing and took all of them to the spot where Bhagavan's samadhi is now. Though this was not the spot that had been chosen originally by other people, with the aid of his stick, Bhagavan drew exactly where his samadhi should be. Nambiar woke up from his dream and narrated the dream to my grandfather and others. They brushed him aside, saying, "You and your dreams. We will not care for your dream. We will have it on the spot that we have decided on. Do not interfere and do not tell others about your dream." They ridiculed him about his dreams because they could not comprehend the power of the rolling ball of rice. My grandfather also challenged him, Chinnaswami, saying, "You can have the samadhi there only over my dead body." But the important people of the town, with Annamalai Pillai as their leader, came to the ashram and for no reason at all pointed out the very place that Nambiar had dreamt about. My father was also in favor of that spot. Everyone had to comply with their choice, even my grandfather. There is something personal that I want to share about Nambiar. When I was working in Mumbai, I had a strange spiritual experience. I resigned my job and ran away to Benares. Nobody knew where I was, and everyone wondered about me. For 6 days, I was unconscious. Nambiar, who was working as a chief engineer in a private company in Mumbai, had a dream. Bhagavan appeared in his dream and showed him that I was lying on my stomach and that there was a big abscess on my back. Bhagavan placed his hand on my back and said, "Nambiar, look at Ganesan. He has this, and I am going to save him." When he removed his hand, the abscess was gone. He then said, "Nambiar, go tell Venkatu, Ganesan's father, that Ganesan will be all right. I have saved him." This is exactly what happened. It is Bhagavan's grace that I am able to extol those old devotees who extolled the holy feet of the Master. I pay my humble homage to Nambiar.